Affordable housing or projects, because we dealing with housing, we dealing with exodus, we dealing with people moving and going, moving and shaking, migrants, exodus in California, what's happening over in the Bronx in New York. We want to see what's happening because there's a new, shout out to Marriage, Politics, and Sports. I'm going to read that super chat shortly. There's a few new buildings that's going up over in New York, and I want to bring you guys up to speed of what's happening out here in these streets. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
Construction well underway Thursday at 1160 River Avenue, Tower B in the Bronx. And so is the submission phase of the building's affordable housing lottery.
Let me back up for a minute. Don't this look like, if you look at this right here, hold on. If you look at this right here, got the EMT fire trucks. Don't this kind of look like that New York over in Las Vegas? Like if you drive by New York, and then they got the Statue of Liberty, which I believe is actually over in Jersey, and you look at the buildings, this reminds me of two things. This reminds me of the housing projects that you see on every Mobb Deep video or old Nas video, Queensbridge Don't Play, or it looks like the actual buildings that they created over in Vegas on a strip for New York.
Thursday at 1160 River Avenue, Tower B in the Bronx. And so is the submission phase of the building's affordable housing lottery.
I have a low income.
Yubakar Cisse and his family won a lottery spot and last month moved into the recently completed adjacent Tower A.
Can you imagine having to win the lottery just to be able to get decent housing? Cabrini Green vibes? It does. It absolutely does. And these are brand new buildings. Now, a lot of these people had to basically enroll in a lottery, a housing lottery, because if I'm not mistaken, they're saying that the entire building is going to be affordable housing. Affordable housing to me, in my mind, and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong inside of the chat. Yes, this is live. Bushido's J. Why people be always asking me if it's live? Do it say that it's live? It absolutely says that it's live, right? When y'all came in here and y'all see this, and y'all seeing over 2,000 people across multiple different platforms that's watching this live, don't it say it's live? Of course it's live. Shout out to Bushido J. I'm gonna need you to subscribe to the channel. Somebody said don't look like no NYC projects. Listen. Affordable housing to me is another term for the new housing projects, because it's not incentivizing you to level up or to get to the next level or to be able to afford whatever the market rate rents are or to eventually buy your own home. It's basically rent controlled housing, which is not too much different than the projects or where people was living and using their Section 8 vouchers. How is it any different? How is it any different? I'm curious. How is affordable housing if every single person that's in there? Now, what we have in Michigan for a lot of the new developments is they have to allocate a portion of whatever they're developing, whether it be 5% of the housing or 10% of the residents for a new building. And they say, well, you have to reserve that for affordable housing applicants. It can't just be people that can afford to be there. Yeah, they might have to pass a credit check, or yeah, they have to be responsible with their resources, but these units, however many units, 5% of the units in the building or whatever, depending on if you get any incentive. Now, if you don't get any incentive or you don't have to go through any committee, maybe it's in a historical district or something like that, right? If you don't have to go through any committee or you're not getting any tax incentives, then I think you can do whatever you want. If you're just building it just based off of your own merit, then you can charge whatever you want, and it's based off of who's managing the project, right? But if you're getting an incentive from the city, or if you are getting approval from some historic district that's worried about, removing people that's been there for the last 50 years, and then you coming in and you basically gentrifying the area, then they'll put a restriction on it, and they'll say, well, to get approved to be able to pull permits over in this area, then you have to do some hybrid approach where you allow for 5% of the units inside of the building, or 10% of the units have to meet a certain threshold, or they can't make more than $50,000 a year. They can't make more than $45,000 a year. But I have never seen personally and maybe it's just because I don't live in NYC, I've never seen an entire complex be dedicated to affordable housing. So every single person in that place is under a certain threshold in order to make sure that we fill this entire thing.
Very good idea. So the people can afford to pay the bills.
With Tower B now nearing completion, the city's Department of Housing Preservation and Development has opened up a new affordable housing lottery. Like its neighbor, the building features 250 units, from studios to 3 bedrooms, with several amenities. All 500 units across both buildings, designated for affordable housing, with an overwhelming majority of them put into the lottery.
All 500 units across both buildings are in affordable housing. That's a disaster. I don't know who the urban planners are, or who the urban planning developments are a part of this, and who the project managers are, and who's going to be managing this thing. But that ain't nothing but problems that's waiting to happen. You know what I hear? Bed bugs, roaches, liquor, baby mamas arguing, thin walls, not making sure that you make sure that all of the amenities is the best that you can possibly have that would attract the best residents. I don't hear nothing but problems inside of that. All 500 units inside of the entire project on both buildings is affordable housing, and most of the people are hitting the lottery. And so you're gonna have homeboy that's hanging out at the liquor store, or the chick with no baby mama, or the chick that's a single baby mama that ain't got no baby daddy in their life, and they just gonna be in there, and the kids gonna be running around talking about the amenities. Psh, you could forget it. You could forget. That's gonna turn into spray painted hallways in 5 seconds. 2 years from now, I'm gonna be visiting this housing building in the Bronx, and we gonna be having a different conversation, fam.
You are wondering what affordable means at this project, the answer starts with something called AMI, or Area Median Income, which is set by the federal government and takes into account the size of a household and where it falls on the AMI scale. For example, there are 8 studio apartments in the lottery, renting for $465 a month.
That's it? Wow. In New York, I've never heard of such prices. I don't know where you can go in America. I don't even think you can get a place off of Kensington Avenue in Philadelphia for $465 a month. I don't care if it's a studio apartment or not. $465 a month. How are you even able to live in New York City off of $18,000 a year? You should be looking like one of them kids that be in a commercial that be having flies in their eyes talking about for 25 cents a day, you can feed this kid. In New York, making $18,000 a year? I ain't never heard of such price. I don't know of a price. I don't know of anybody in any place in the United States of America. And I travel all over this country. You know me. I'm city to city, state to state. I done been almost to all states on the freaking United States of America. I don't know of a place where you can get for $465 a month. Brand new, let alone in New York, and you're only making $18,000 a year? Shit.
To a single person household.
And you know what the funniest part about that is? Even you paying $465 a month, if you're making $18,000 a year, what is that? A little less than $6,000 a year. Then that means that you still spending 33% of your income. If you make $18,000 a year and you're paying $465 a month, you spending a little less than 30% of your income. You still messed up. You still gonna be running in the Victim Olympics.
Lowest end of the AMI scale. The maximum income range is about $18,000 to $29,000 a year. For larger families, the lottery includes 4 3-bedroom units, renting for $800 a month.
Wow.
To a family of 5.
Where they at though? I want one. I'm about to enter the New York lottery. Get my CPA to work some magic, and I'm about to 3-bedroom apartments. $32,000 a year, and you only got to make $800 a month. That's $9,600 a year. 9, 18, 27, 36.
on the lowest end of the AMI scale. Their maximum income range is a bit higher, about $32,000 to $45,000 a year. HPD First Deputy Commissioner Ahmed Tagani.
Made over 9,000 units available for New Yorkers. But to your point, more needs to be done, and we're working to get more projects online.
Linda's family recently won a housing lottery spot, which allowed them to...
Look, man, listen, I'm not one to judge. But every single person that I've seen that showed up on this show today, that they interviewing as far as where the lottery is going to be in, all of them got on Scullies. And this lady, I'm not sure. It may just be the camera, but one eye look like it's going that way and one eye look like it's going this way. I'm just being honest. Every single person that I've seen that they've interviewed, let's see, we at the 1 minute and 43 minute mark. Let's see who the first guy was.
Well underway Thursday at 1160 River Avenue, Tower B in the Bronx. And so is the...
Look at the first guy.
...of the building's affordable housing lottery.
I have a lawyer.
Scully. Probably got on black Air Forces.
Online.
Linda's family recently won a housing lottery spot, which allowed them to move out of public housing.
A very big difference. Lovely. It's a brand new start.
Similar to Tower A, Tower B, when it's complete, it'll set aside 50 units for homeless New Yorkers to move them from the already overburdened shelter system into new affordable housing. We're going to have a link to the city's...
This is crazy. So you're going to have homeless people living there. Brand new building. They're not doing repurposing or none of that. Homeless people.
Housing Connect web portal up on pix11.com, and this latest housing lottery closes on February 22nd.
God bless you, New Yorkers. Y'all some weirdos, bro.